Perhaps at this stage in your interfaith collaborative efforts, you have succeeded in bringing people together from different beliefs and perspectives to complete a project in your community. Congratulations! Now, the question is, how do you keep people engaged to continue to collaborate? How do you keep the momentum going over time? How can the collective power of diverse faith communities putting faith into action be harnessed, perhaps for future projects? In this module, we will discuss how you and your organization can keep momentum going once you've successfully brought together diverse stakeholders and put your plan into action to ensure that your project and collaborative efforts remain sustainable over time.
I think to have sustainability, it's education in the community. I think it's the leadership of the Unity Build in Colorado Springs is amazing and full of energy and enthusiasm. And I think that will keep it going, is just really letting people know what we're doing, letting people know that this is our community and we want to help our families have homes. I think there's a lot of people that are looking for meaning and purpose in their lives. And that this not only affects the families that we're building for, but how it affects each individual by giving of themselves and contributing, and what a gift.
I think we're going to have to continue balancing the bonding and the bridging. We're going to have to balance how much we're deepening our relationships with the people actively involved and how much we're branching out to especially other faith communities and communities of no faith who have not yet joined us, who haven't been introduced to what we're doing. So that is not static. I mean, our faith communities are dynamic. Many people are not associated as such with a particular community anymore. And so those internal and external changes in who we come from, you know, the bonding there, it just means that bridging is going to have to continue. I also think that we're going to have to follow what Habitat is doing in general, and that is it's branching out in advocacy. So I would like to see us in the Interfaith Build bring that to our table and say, what does that mean for us on the Interfaith Build for Unity? How and why do we want to be engaged in advocacy? I think this would also bring in some people who haven't previously been engaged. It won't be attractive to everyone. And yet we, over the time, have come to know some of the barriers for house building, some of the structural barriers that keep certain neighbors from being able to be homeowners and make it easier for others.
I've always been taught and always believed that you give back and that you pay it forward. And, you know, I can never return the gifts that I was given by my parents, my family, my teachers, the folks who nurtured and educated me, but I can pay it forward. And I think that's one of the important lessons that people need to take away from this is you're not going to see a whole lot of reward or acknowledgement, but you will see maybe the next person down the line picking up the hammer, if you will, and running with it. And that's a really important concept.
Spend time getting to know one another. Find out what the motivations and the passions are that bring everybody to the table. You're going to need to know that, and as you do, you're going to hear some of the needs in your community. Are there injustices? Are there challenges? Are there just opportunities? And as you do those, and as some of those gel, then you can look at the resources that you have available just by the gifts that are around the table in your group, and also resources you can leverage from other grantors. Then it's just to try and to, I think, give yourself permission to maybe not hit the target right away, right? You're going to keep trying. And every time that you're working together and trying something, you're going to learn more about your potential and your limitations. And all of that is just going to increase the hope of being able to reach your goal. You're going to know your neighbors and know the neighbors that you're serving through this endeavor.
It is so important that you recognize the dignity of yourself first. If you cannot get in touch with who you are and what your needs are and be vulnerable to growing in an impactful and positive way and be willing to step outside your own comfort zone, it's going to be difficult for you. Getting to meet people that you have thought as or considered them as different, as other, just because you have not been aware that people are out there from other faiths, or you have not had the opportunities to get to mingle with others or have dialogue, or you're not even aware that the person sitting next to you having coffee is actually somebody who would love to talk to you too, but they're not sure how to open the dialogue. You both must be vulnerable, but do it cautiously and with respect.
One of the things that I'm very excited about with our Interfaith Build for Unity is that over time we have seen our interfaith leaders really come together. We've even seen some faith leaders invite other members of our interfaith committee to come speak at their church, to speak at a sangha, to come to the mosque and to articulate why their belief system matters to them. And I think that this is one of the markers of success for our interfaith work.
I also think that it changed Habitat, which is a good thing. Habitat's a wonderful organization. But as an example, when we got to the dedication of the first house, we, as many faith communities today, may start our worship or our time in our service by a land acknowledgement. It is recognizing that we are not the first people to be on this land. And Habitat was open to incorporating that into the dedication. They also invited the Native American Women's Association to come, and they led us in a round dance for that first home dedication. It was beautiful. Some might have seen it as just going in circles, but we were circling and seeing the smiling faces of these new neighbors and these new friends. So I really appreciated that willingness of Habitat to engage with us, as sometimes we do challenge the status quo.
When we think about the progression of our interfaith build, we were intentional in the fact that we wanted to come together to support a family in our community first and foremost. We wanted to be able to put beliefs into action that would translate into a physical home. We also wanted to make sure that our interfaith work didn't end there. When we started to see the success of our interfaith project, we wanted to make sure that our Interfaith Build for Unity could in fact be a launching pad for our interfaith work, for those relationships to be able to foster additional action in our community. And so now our conversations surround the idea of, now that we have built those relationships, now that we are willing to be vulnerable with one another and we have something that's continuous and sustainable, we're looking to see how else can we engage with Pikes Peak Habitat. And so those are exciting conversations that we're able to have because we took the time to build something that's sustainable, that's focused on building trust and relationships.
We are all hopefully looking for the same thing, to create a world that everyone is seen with dignity and treated with dignity, and we can grow together. And at Habitat, where we build community, and we build homes, and we build hope.
I would thoroughly encourage anybody to come out and participate, get involved, and see what this type of community can bring into your life, as well as all the help that you can bring into others' lives.
There are stereotypes of different faith traditions that for the most part are false, but unless people meet a Muslim, a Jew, a Baha'i or a Hindu or a Buddhist, they don't know that a lot of the stereotypes aren't true.